Hey everybody, I know it's been forever since I have uploaded anything. This has been one of those months, where you try and life just gets in your way. It has been one thing after another, but I have been taking videos. I'm putting some things together that is still going to take me some time. I've put other things together that I didn't think I could. But anyway, you'll see here. I'm going to start today by trying to get one of them put up. Let everybody know that I am still around. And we'll just go from them. So sit back, have a cup of coffee. This might not be of interest to everyone, but hey, it's part of what I've been up to. Be right back. Hello everybody. Everything seems to have been changing around here. We've had to reschedule, reprioritize, and redo a bunch of different things. I have to get this back into the cooling area. I believe I said or mentioned something last year, probably on the hottest day of the summer. We were driving and the air conditioner went out. And it literally was blowing hot air because it was the hottest day of the summer. Well, it didn't bother us during the winter, but it's getting warm again, so we have to do something. I have ordered a new air compressor or air conditioning compressor. So today, our little project is we will be replacing the air conditioning compressor on this 2010 Honda CR-V. Now, I've watched a number of YouTube videos. I'm hoping I learned enough. We'll be back in a little bit when we get started with it. Now, this is the area. It's hard to believe. We gotta find it somewhere, but I do know where it's at. I've seen it. It's way down at the very bottom. So this is a job that we have to do from underneath. That's why the last clip showed it standing up on the jack stands. Not jack stands, the ramps. But we have to take this loose so that it can set out of the way so we can get into the tensioning wheel back here for the serpentine belt and all of that from the top. And when I get that completed, I didn't show anybody, but I already drained the Freon out, released it. I've gone to AutoZone and I have borrowed it. They're called borrowed, I call it rent. I don't know what you want to call it, but I have the vacuum pump and all of the hose equipment to pull a good vacuum on it before we recharge it when I'm all done. So I don't have a little tiny tripod to be able, but I'm going to try to see if I can prop this up from underneath so that I can show you what I'm doing as I'm doing. And if I'm doing this right, that should be all the tools I need. We'll see. Be back. Well, there it is. That's the compressor that, oh, there it is, right there. That's what we are in and trying to get to. Now, of course, getting that shroud off right there, you always have to break 2 or 3 of those clips. And I have enough of them laying there that I should be able to get this back up, and there's some there too. Get this back up and be secure. But we have come into another problem. The tensioner wheel for the serpentine belt, where is it? Where is it? Right there. Is right directly under the motor mount. Now, in every video I watched, it was setting away from it, but not on this one. So now I have to get in here and study on how I can get that serpentine belt released so I can start working on this. I knew there was a reason I hated working on cars. I used to love it, but not anymore. Okay, be back in a little bit. Okay, I have tried everything with every tool that I have to possibly get in there. I had that out, well, leaning up in here. And I even came down here in hopes to be able to do it, and I took all the shrouding out up in here. I can't get that idler wheel loose. So, what this means is a trip back to town, and I'm doing it now before I disable this car. I've got to go get a tool. I don't know what tool it is, I just know it's a 14mm, and I got to go get it. I'm going to leave the shrouds off, I'm going to leave all of that. It's not raining, it's a beautiful day, I can do that. And while I'm at it, I can pick up maybe a few of those clips for holding the shrouds on. So, okay, we'll be back in a little bit to let you see when I get back with the tools and or tool, and we'll see if I can get this complete. This has become way more of a job than I thought it was going to be. What a fiasco this has been. I'm on day 2 of a job that should have only taken me a few hours, a couple hours maybe. I had to go in and get a new wrench. You can't see it, it's laying over there. That was long handled, that would allow me, with a combination of a couple different wrenches, would allow me to pull the tension wheel enough to release the belt. There's the new one, there's the old one. I got it out. But now, and I got that oil poured in this one, most of it, and this one is going to set aside because I honestly, I thought I would find something wrong with it. I haven't yet, but we're going to find out when this goes in if that was the problem. Lord knows I hope it is, because Mrs. Stedhomer has told me this has got to be the problem. We've had a few other issues pop up over since yesterday morning when I started on this, and man, when it rains, does it ever pour. Okay, I'm going to try to get this thing stuck up inside there, and there are hangers on it, so if I can get it up and get it hung on those hangers, I can then get started with putting the bolts in and stuff. I'm sorry I didn't take you along when I got it up in there, but it got to the point where even if I'd have had the camera down there, you wouldn't have seen much, simply because once I got it up there trying to hold it and get nuts and bolts and everything started, it just wouldn't have worked. So now you can see where I'm at here. I've got the vacuum pump hooked up, the gauges. We're hooked up to the high-low side, high-low, and we're getting ready to pull a vacuum for at least 30 minutes according to what I'm reading here, and then we will check to see if we have a leak up here. So I gotta put this down to get that all started, but I'll bring it back and let you see what it looks like. And here we go again. These are manifold and pump. That's from AutoZone. As you know, that borrow or loan program or whatever you want to call it. And you got to put a lot of money down in order to bring them home and use them, and they are going to work every time, right? You see this? That is supposed to be attached to the end of that so that when I turn the pump on, this is all closed off right there and there's no suction. I mean, it starts sucking. But I turned the pump on, and even though I went ahead and put all kinds of electrical tape on, it just sucks the air right there and not through the system. I called them, and of course, this being a beautiful day, and everybody's working on their cars, they're swamped, they don't have anybody that can come out, so I gotta put this thing back together and try to drive into town. I have a feeling we might just have some words when I get there. Alright, be back in a little while. Okay, we made a trip in and out of town to get a new pump. And it's on the vacuum, and it's sucking everything down. I'm still not sure, maybe somebody can tell me why, but they say to do this and let it run for a minimum of 30 minutes before you introduce any Freon to it. Like I said, I don't quite understand it, but hey, who am I? We've got about another 28 minutes to go. We'll be back. Alright, I am befuddled. I have replaced the compressor. I went in and got a good vacuum pump, and I ran it more than it said to, and it wouldn't, and charged it, tried to charge it, and nothing. I went into town, I got an AC pressure switch, replaced it, nothing. I don't know where to go now. Well, finally, after weeks, months, almost a year of worrying, a lot of money spent, we now have cool air. I broke down and did something that I very rarely do, and I took it to a service department. A service, not a Honda place, but independent. Usually you get a better price. They put it on their testing equipment. They found nothing wrong. They put it on their computer equipment, and they found that the final relay, which is sitting right in that area under the hood, that there was power, and it was turning on and turning off like it was supposed to, but the compressor was not receiving any. And that's when they informed me that they did not do in-depth electrical. So the good thing was, they said that they weren't going to charge me, because that was the first time they had ever not been able to come up with an answer, and they didn't charge me for all that time. Now, so I come home, at least not for that. Looked through the phone book, found a company that I had, a service center that I had done business with a few times around here since I've been here over the past 30 years, and I called them, and they said, bring her on in. So today I took it in. And they told me that it was going to be 2 to 3 hours just to diagnose the problem. So Mrs. Tadhomer and I went in, stopped and got our breakfast, took it with us, and we sat down in the waiting area and commenced to eating our breakfast and drinking our coffee. Looked out and the car was gone. Looked over and there it was in the bay, going up and down, up and down, up and down numerous times. And in 1/2 hour, we saw the technician backing it out of the bay and putting it back where we had it, and our hearts sunk, because nobody can diagnose anything in a half an hour. And we were sure that he was parking it there because he didn't think that they could do anything about it. And then he walked in and he says, it's working. Apparently, in my old years, I make major mistakes. The 2-prong plug that goes into the compressor here, when I went to plug it in, I pushed over one of the conductors and it didn't connect. Matter of fact, it smashed it down. He got up in there, straightened it out, got the plug in properly, and it started working. So in other words, everything I did right, except when I plugged it back in and I made a mistake. Well, actually I brutalized it and I smashed the plug over. So there you have it. Now we have coolant. Now we have cool air. I went ahead and got some more Freon because I know there's not quite enough in there, and I'm going to shoot some more into it here this afternoon after I get rid of the trailer back there. This is Ted Homer. Cool, calm, collected. It's Ted Homer. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed your visit. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends. Don't forget to tell the local Havoc repair person. We hope you all have a blessed, blessed day, and catch you on the next time. Got a few more of these coming up. Bye-bye.